So what that means is love is not generated by the other person. It's in fact generated in your brain, in the brain's region, right? It doesn't matter what kind of love we are talking about. When I say the word love, many people think of an emotion. But from a neuroscience perspective, love is not an emotion at all. It is actually the result of a coordination of the whole brain. It involves the reward circuits, the threat circuits, the bonding chemistry, and executive regulation, all talking to each other at the same time. And what's interesting is that the brain uses almost the exact same circuitry, whether you are in a romantic love, caring for a child, attached to a pet, or feeling connected to the world. So today I want to dive deep into the neuroscience of I am love, coming really deep from the core, but using our brains. And I will explain to you the neuroscience behind of it, what I am love actually means neurologically, when love is not something that you chase after, but something your nervous system learns to regulate. So if you're ready, let's dive in. But before we do, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and get your NHS Neurohypersensitivity Workbook, and follow all the instructions and assignments every single week, and do it together with us here. Because what we do here, the whole video, you will be doing your assignments in your NHS workbook, which I am doing every single week. Also on my channel, you will find with a nice calming music, and do it together with me. Okay? Without further ado, let's dive in.
Welcome to my practical brain lab experiments on a calm, stable life.
So, I am love is the topic of this video, week 5 of week 52 of our neurohypersensitivity workbook. Last week's video was about I am loved. Please go back and watch that video, because there we will talk about the societal connection and getting love from the outside. Now we are talking about the internal love, how we actually are the source of love, but not as an emotion, but from the neuroscience perspective. And it's actually, again, not an emotion. It is the coordination of the whole brain. It is so exciting. I'm so excited to explain this to you. And for the housekeeping, I will explain to you how it works. So we will do first the system diagnostics, where I explain to you the neuroscience of love. And then we will cut this a little bit shorter this time, because we go straight into the core assignment, which is already in your page 30 of your neurohypersensitivity workbook. And then we will do our weekly I am statements for this week, and I will dive deeper into the intuitive side for this week, because we are keep going with our weekly guidance, right? What can we expect for the week, and how can we rewire our brain to have the most success in our week? And then we go into number 4, the cognitive focus, where we're focusing on our gratitude or success statements, and also explaining what to do during the week. Your assignment can also come from the I am intuitive statements and the gratitude or success statements. So let's dive in. When people say I am love, right, in a way of we say this as an affirmation, this really can sound out there or philosophical. But from a neuroscience perspective, it is actually a very specific neurological claim. It's a claim how your brain, how your whole brain is organized in a very specific moment. It's actually not about how you feel, but it's how your internal system is well coordinated. So interesting, right? But hang tight with me. It's getting better. So let's talk about then what love actually looks like inside your brain. And I will give you this in a 3 structured way. Number 1 is Love is a brain-wide network. The one biggest misconception about love is that people believe that it comes from a one single area of your brain, which is further from the truth. Let me explain. Love is a distributed brain state. So the first system in your brain that's involved in this is the reward system. That reward system involves the ventricle tegmental area and the nucleus accumbens. We talked about this in our Rewire Our Brain with Gratitude course, the 14-day course. It's on my website, dreichenscheid.com/courses. So take that course, and every person who become a member, higher level of my channel, will get a discount on my courses. So it's up to you how you will sign to it. Either you can get straight and you have access to all the live replays and all the neurobiology with all the areas that I'm showing, which area of the brain I'm talking about. It's all there, so I'm not going to repeat them here, okay? So basically, it's the internal side of the brain. So once that area is activated, the dopamine hormone is expressed. And the dopamine hormone makes something meaningful or worth moving towards. That's number one. Number two is the limbic system, particularly the amygdala. And the amygdala, we all know it by now, it's checking whether or not it's safe to move towards. Do you get that? So think about when I talk about this, when you feel love, you always, I'm sure, you feel these kind of, in a millisecond, these systems are coming into your brain, right? The circuits get activated. You can feel it. I know you can. You're just not aware of it. So basically you feel like, is it worth moving towards? If that person is worth my love? That's number one. Number two, is this secure? Is this safe? Is this person safe? Or is the animal safe, right? That's number two. And number three is the prefrontal cortex. That's our analysis. That's our regulation of our emotions, right? We keep talking about coming from the amygdala towards the prefrontal cortex. And the key part, what the prefrontal cortex is doing, it's very crucial actually. It's integrating emotion, right, coming from the amygdala, with perspective, with empathy, and with long-term regulation. Keep that long-term in mind. We will talk about this later. So this is so important, that the regulation and the empathy and all of these emotional chaos that comes from the amygdala limbic system is being regulated in the prefrontal cortex. So all of this will make sense when the prefrontal cortex is regulating all of it. So in summary, when we put this together, what does it mean? It means that when someone says, I am love, it means that in that person, the reward, the safety, and the meaning are all aligned. That's what it means. Not something woo-woo, not something abstract, not something philosophical, but all these three systems in our brain are aligned neurologically. How exciting is this, right? Now, let's move to number two. And here's what gets really exciting. Different types of love, shared neural core. Neuroimaging studies show that romantic love, love towards a pet, towards a child, towards parents, towards even nature, all activate overlapping regions in the brain, especially the medial prefrontal cortex, the anterior cingulate cortex, which is in the mid part of the brain. We all talked about this in my courses, and the striatum. This is also in the midsection of your brain. So the medial prefrontal cortex integrates oneself and the other. The anterior cingulate cortex involves care and empathy, and the striatum is part of the motivation and reward. We all talked about this, all the regions of the brain, in my Revive Your Brain with Gratitude course, okay? So what that means is love is not generated by the other person. It's in fact generated in your brain, in the brain's region, right? It doesn't matter what kind of love we are talking about. That's why in my What is Unconditional Love, which I filmed a few years ago, and I will link that here. It's a beautiful video where I talked about deep in your core that you feel this love for everything. There I talked about the feeling of when you really love everything and everyone. I literally said that sentence there. You really feel that you love everything and everyone. It's so big, the love. That's unconditional. I explained that to you there. I will link that video here. But here, when we talk about the neuroscience, it's actually exactly what I'm talking about, because here we are seeing that the regions in our brain are the identical regions that are activated based on love itself, meaning what kind of love it is, it doesn't matter. The identical nervous system regions, brain regions are equally activated, whether you are talking about a romantic love, a pet's love, a child's love, a parent's love, a love for nature, for the world, for humanity. It's big. It's literally in your brain. And again, it comes down to it's all regions are regulated and speaking to each other in a regulated way. Okay? That brings us to number 3. And that is from infatuation to stable love. And here we will talk about the chasing love, what it does to our body, versus when we have the love internally regulated, the long term, the stable love, the difference between the two, okay? So if you liked it so far, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's keep going. So when we talk about infatuation, or the first initial love, or when we chase after love, versus the stable love, the brain, our body, treats this two in a two separate way, in a distinctive way. So the early love, when we fall in love, or the first initial love reaction, that's dominated by dopamine spikes. So that is the same when we have the sexual satisfaction or the addictions, right? This is all dopamine based, the satisfaction based immediate happiness, right? That's coming from the dopamine. That's what the dopamine does. The satisfaction from calming the craving. That's also the same with the initial love. But what many people don't understand is that this type of craving, excitement, and motivation, these are all aligned with higher levels of cortisol, right? So your heart rates go up, the butterflies in your stomach. This is all because the dopamine activation also increases the cortisol levels. That's when you chase after love, it's those types of stress involved, excitement and quick satisfaction, dopamine type of systems are activated. So basically we are talking about high reward, high threat type of loop. But stable love looks completely different in the brain because the oxytocin hormone is involved. And we talked literally in last week's video, week 4, I am loved, coming love from the outside, where we feel the connection. Societal hormone is oxytocin. That love is, the stable love is based on the oxytocin hormone, as well as the endorphins. So the oxytocin plus endorphin. And the dopamines are still there, but it's more in a regulated way. And because oxytocin and endorphins are higher, it feels calmer, it feels safer, right? We talked about safety a lot last week with oxytocin. It's safe to connect, it's safe to love, it's safe to be in love. That brings us to a calm state, right? Because we know it's safe, that the amygdala is downregulated. We know and we calm the amygdala. It's to see how my videos are connected, because all the brain is connected. So that's why we are talking about practical neurobiology, neuroscience, because it is connected with our whole body. Okay? Everything we do in our lives is connected to our body. We can't separate that. That's why I'm so much against these woo-woo people talking nonsense, because that's not how it works in our body. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, okay? So the stable love is a regulated reward state. So the stable love is a regulated reward state of our brain, of our body. So all the hormones are function and what they do in our body are completely different when we are at the chasing, the initial love, the quick, the immediate satisfaction, versus the stable love that comes within, with all our system being regulated. Do you understand the difference? That's why, my friend, it is bad to chase after love, because all your system, your functions, you don't want to have high cortisol levels, because that's what it actually does. You don't want to invest your money into high risk stocks. Yes, the high risk, high reward, but high anxiety, right? Even they say that it's high risk, high anxiety, right? But isn't that better when a financial advisor comes to you and say, hey, listen, I studied and regulated and put all of this in a list, and here are the ones that are safe and you can safely, securely invest, and they long term give you the high reward. It's less anxiety causing. There's even like a anxiety bar, right? When you see what's your investment, right? It's this high risk, high reward, high anxiety versus stable investment, safe, secure, and long term, it still grows. That's exactly what we are talking about here, okay? So again, if you wrap this up, what does it mean? I am love is not a poetic, abstract, philosophical language. It is actually that your nervous system learned how to, one, experiencing reward without craving, two, experience connection without fear, and number three, maintain coherence thanks to our prefrontal cortex across emotional and regulatory systems. These three systems are regulated when we say I am love, when it really comes from here. Okay, so I hope this was easy to understand, but if you don't remember anything, remember this. Love is not something you fall into. That's easy peasy. That's because that's not the point. That's not what the body does. But love is something that your brain learns how to organize. Okay? And you can help your brain to do that. And this, my friend, is absolutely trainable. And that brings me to our core assignment. In our workbook, page 30, in this week, week 5, I Am Love, page 30, there is a core assignment for the week. And there, I'm not going to tell you what it is, so I want you to get the workbook and do it there. There you will see how your brain, your body in an alpha state, in a calm state, and from there, you combine, you regulate all your brain regions, like we talked here, which means you rewire it with that assignment. And then from here and here, it's all combined. You bring from the inside out the love, because indeed, Love is literally in your brain. Not somewhere outside, but inside your brain. Okay? So exciting. So now, let's move to our intuitive insights for the week. And here we use my I am cards. I am statement cards, which you can get on my Etsy store, on my Ko-fi store. The links are all below. And I picked 3 cards for the week, and every single week we have a rune card, which is crazy. This means literally we are so in exciting times, such a powerful times. Every single week since January, the beginning of January, January 1st when we started this, we have always a rune card. And this is smacked in the middle. I will explain to you what those are and how our week will be, and give you some guidance, maybe also assignments as well. So we have number 9, the first card, I am healthy. This is so wonderful. So if you feel like all of this strain your body, you will see that we are feeling healthy this week. Just literally for me, this applies so much, because I was just about to say if you have health concerns, but again, I do not feel comfortable talking about this type of health suggestions because I don't think it's appropriate. But I will tell you about me so that you can maybe get a better understanding. So literally today, I was anxious about a health issue. I was a phone call, but my cheek was starting to really burn, so I feel like I had some tooth issues that start to creep up that really give me anxiety, because I really pray like, oh my god, this is so not a good time, please I hope this is not something bad. But so I immediately brushed my teeth again and did all the flossings again, so and I calmed a little bit down, but immediately texted my dentist. So I hope that nothing is happening. So again, this is something that could happen, but I can't believe that then this card came out, because this card rarely comes out. And this is a 78 card deck plus the 24 rune card, so it's more than 90 cards. This as a first card is, I mean, you know me by now, right? My cards are just fitting like, I don't know, it's just 100% fitting always, right? So if there's any concerns or anything we need to get checked, the message is saying and knowing that I'm healthy, and we can also rewire our brain. And because it's number 9, it's a good idea to get it checked, okay? So let's write it down. Number 9, I am healthy. And you have, after page 30, there's page 31, you will write every single week the 3 cards in your workbook. That's what we are doing, okay? So number 9, I am healthy. That's what you write down in your workbook, and then you do your own interpretation for your own life, okay? That's the point. That's the point of the workbook, okay? You don't repeat that, but I gave you sections where you interpret what it means for you, okay? The middle card, the middle of the week, is a rune card. And when my rune card comes out, which are Viking style, I love Viking style, it means it's strong, it's powerful. It's a very powerful week this week, right? And literally today we have the Leo full moon, so very powerful. And we have Pethro. Look at this. Mystery, fate, divination. Some information will come out of nowhere. Like, it is as if I feel like there is a miracle, things coming out of nowhere, but I really feel it's positive. A surprise news, surprise information, surprise event, surprise something that you're like, what? You know, I feel that's what it is. Like very auspicious, coming out of nowhere, out of the blue, that type of thing. So you let me know in the comments, okay? So the second is petrol. And the third is, look at this. I love this. Didn't I say powerful? Boom. 13, I am powerful. Yeah! Yes, I am powerful. It is just so unbelievable how powerful this week is. I'm telling you, the Leo full moon is also this week is just bringing this effect. Like there's something going on here. This is just such an empowering week. And especially if you're doing this empowerment here with the neuroscience, bring all our brains together. I think that's what we need this week. The rewiring our brain would be key this week. But look at this, number 13, 1 plus 3 is 4. And this is stability. If you're, I mean, my God, I need this stability, okay? Cause, okay. So, stability. I am powerful, but the stability comes also because of this unexpected events that comes maybe from like fateful event, like the Wheel of Fortune in tarot, if you will, right? Like some fated events will happen that you will never in a million years, it just comes out of nowhere, and then we feel powerful, we can use our power, we can create the stability. And write that down and then I'll tell you exactly why. So 13, I am powerful, yeah. And look at this, what it does at the end. 55, at the bottom of the deck, I am hope. Literally, I thought I was seeing I'm happy, but it is actually number 55, I am hope. I am hope. And 5 plus 5 is 10, reduces down to 1, and we start with a 9. Something is ending at the beginning of the week, and something begins this week. Ending and new beginnings. And we are so hopeful, and we create, because we are powerful, we create our hope. And this feels like the Fool card to me. This feels like the 0 Fool card to me. Okay, so 55, very, very interesting week. 55, I am hope, was the bottom of the deck. You can add that in your workbook. Then let's move to the cognitive focus with my gratitude and success statement cards. The 44 cards together, there are 88 cards. And these are my statements from my own life, my own words. And what came out was look at this, number 22. Again, 2 plus 2 is 4. And this is from my success statements cards, my success affirmations. These are the very first ones I made. I call them now my rock star cards because they are answering all the questions. Full stop. You don't need any other cards. These are like an oracle. They answer all your questions from all areas of your life. This is 22, 2 plus 2 again is 4, twice stability, and it says, okay, look at this. My God, I just love my cards. I just love my cards. I deserve a prosperous, healthy, happy, which I said that I felt like it was happy, and peaceful. 4, grounded, peaceful life. I can make it happen. I can make it happen. Right? I am powerful. I am hope. Didn't I say empowerment? Didn't I say empowerment? This week, I deserve this for the whole 5 weeks now. This card hadn't shown up for a really long time. really long time. Even last year, when I include last year. Look at this. This is such an empowered week. Oh my God. I deserve a prosperous, healthy, happy, and take a screenshot, guys, and peaceful life. I can make it happen. Oh my God. And then this is number 22 for my success statement cards. And then on the bottom, look at this, we have from my gratitude statement cards. I published them last year. These success statements, I published them 2 years ago. I published these last year. These are my gratitude statement cards, again, from my own life, my own words. And we have 39. 3 plus 9 is 12. It reduces down to 3. Communication, right? And look at this. It says, I am grateful for every bill I can pay. It shows that I can and will, right? Empowered. I will have financial freedom and abundance. I am rich. My God, look at this. I am prosperous, healthy, happy life. I can make it happen. And rewire your brain. Take a screenshot. Rewire your brain with this statement. Okay? I am grateful for every bill I can pay. It shows that I can and will have financial freedom and abundance. I am rich. So beautiful. My goodness, this is 39 at the bottom, and this is for my gratitude cards. So there you have it. I hope this was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments. Let me know how you feel the deep love once you do the exercise. What have you learned from what I explained to you? How does it feel when you learned that? Do the exercise. Let me know in the comments how you feel when you do this exercise every day in the week, and what is happening in your week. I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm so happy that you support my channel with your memberships. Shout out to my members! And by liking, by utilizing my products that are created for you. Thank you for your likes, subscribes, and definitely check out these 2 videos here. I talk about last week's video, and we talk about oxytocin there. And also I want you to watch week 1 video where we talked about the amygdala. How can you calm your amygdala? See you next week.